Our origins and hidden secret knowledge of our history will shed light in an insurmountable way, allowing yourself to understand why, if we are eternal beings, do we not remember anything when we are born? This is an important question, and as such all questions can be answered clearly and with intelligence and scientific understanding. One might come to realize that the eternal world is not such a fairy tale after all. When combined with your personal life experiences, as each individual has their own unique spiritual journey, one must simply have had at least one spiritual experience to relate to how Source works. Miracles, synchronicity of events, that feeling that what you just experienced could in no way been random. This is all that is needed to understand the creation story of the Turaneusiam 2, the angelic human. Concluding my last video on the Turaneusiam 1 Terrans that came from the Urtarnates, the series, and the positive Alanians, there is a special secret to the origins of the human being. After Earth was created 560 million years ago from the cataclysmic explosion that took place on Terra and were manifesting as our solar system in the lower dimensional bands, there was a recovery rescue mission for the souls of Terra that meddled timing to the event. They had to be able to evolve back through the dimensions and time cycles that Terra originally came from, but unfortunately, they were in a completely different harmonic universe. Who won? Thus came the plan to reinstitute the lost and fallen souls of Terra, as well as the portion of Terra's morphogenetic field that dropped in vibration, or you could even look at it as the portion of the Terran planet that exploded off the planet. From here came the fall of man, the covenant of Palaidor, the halls of Amenti, and the divine plan. The souls that fell in the cataclysm of Terra were ripped from their morphogenetic field and disengaged from their original soul matrices through which they needed to evolve in order to pass out of the time matrix and dimensionalized systems. They were stuck in time. Just prior to the cataclysm, the series, Urtarnates and Lumians of Mu devised a plan. The Urtarnates were skilled at time portal mechanics and interdimensional portal travel. Coming from their own essence and creation, the series created a plan that the Urtarnates would fulfill. With the assistance of the Syrian Council, Elohim, and Hu-2 Pleiadians, the Urtarnates formed an agreement with several other Hu-2 races called the Covenant of Palaidor. Through this covenant, a rescue mission for the souls of Terra was set in place. Everyone involved in the agreement were the Syrians, Pleiadians, Urtarnates, Elohim, Lyrans, Ceres, Lumians, and Delanians all became known as the Palaidorians. Working through the Hu-5 Brno Rishi beings of pure consciousness and an entity gestalt known as Ra, or the Ra Confederacy. From the Ra Confederacy came 4 entity gestalts known as the Azurites, Atan-A, Ammonites, and the Brigahidit and the Jar Confederacy. The Urtarnates time-traveled to Earth and transmuted their body forms into pure consciousness and merged into a gestalt energy field which served as the morphogenetic field, or the 12-strand DNA Turaneusiam race prototype. They became the sphere of Amenti, the original soul matrix cheilontic time codes of the time-space location of Terra right before the cataclysm. The souls of Terra, who now were soul fragments in a lower density and dimension, would have to pick up the soul matrix codes from the sphere of Amenti after living a life, and which then turned into Menilves in order to ascend and go back to Terra to a point in time right after the cataclysm. The Urtarnates created a time bridge for the soul rescue mission. It is this sphere which would be implanted into the core of Earth that would become the halls of Amenti, stargates for souls evolving back to go through and pick up their original identity codes for them to ascend and go back to evolving in higher dimensions.